Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Josh, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Citi Strata Premier credit card. So I'll be going over the main features of this card, its pros as well as its drawbacks. So hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a much better idea of whether or not this card is a good fit for you. But before we go ahead and dive into the main features of this card, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Plus, if you would like to receive up to $200 in free stock in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Robinhood. All you have to do is once you click on that link is just sign up for a free account and then simply link your bank account. You do not even have to make an opening deposit. At that point, Robinhood will be sending you one free stock worth all the way up to $200. Okay, so diving right into the main features of the Citi Strata Premier credit card. First off, we're going to be talking about points and how you can earn them with this card. So you will be earning 10 points per dollar spent on hotel, car rentals, and attractions booked through cititravel.com. Then you'll be earning 3 points per dollar spent on air travel and other hotel purchases, as well as at restaurants, supermarkets, gas stations, and EV charging stations. And then finally, on all other transactions not in those categories that we just listed, you will be earning 1 point per dollar spent. Then with this card, there's also going to be a spend bonus as well. So you do have the ability to earn 75,000 bonus points as long as you spend at least $4,000 within the first 3 months of having this credit card. For some people, that might be pretty easy to achieve. For others, it might be a little bit more difficult. Now with this card, there's also going to be some other benefits as well. So just starting out, you can earn a $100 annual hotel benefit. This is going to be every single year. So it's going to be $100 off a single hotel stay of $500 or more, excluding taxes and fees when booked through cititravel.com. So you have to keep in mind here that it does have to be at least $500 before taxes in order to earn that $100 credit. Once again, that is going to be on an annual basis. Then on top of that, you're also going to be receiving numerous travel protection benefits. So this is going to include trip delay protection as well, common carrier trip cancellation and interruption, lost or damaged luggage, and master rental coverage. Then on top of that, you're also going to be able to choose to transfer your points to a few of their different partners. So this is going to include TrueBlue, Virgin Atlantic Flying Club, and Singapore Airlines Kris Flyers. So now that we went over the main features of this card at this point in time, we are going to go ahead and dive into the APR and fees, because of course this is also super important as well. So starting out, your purchase APR is going to be anywhere between 21.24 all the way up to 29.24% based on your credit worthiness. Then as far as balance transfers go, with those it is going to be also, just like your purchases, anywhere between 21.24 to 29.24%. So with that said, at least starting out, it's probably not going to make too much sense to perform a balance transfer with this card, considering that right now if you have another credit card out there where you're paying a lot of interest on a month-to-month basis, more than likely, even if you did transfer it over to this card, you're probably not going to be paying it that much less interest. Now later on, they might offer you like a promotional APR of like 0% for 12 months, but starting out, once again, the lowest amount you can get for your balance transfer APR is going to be 21.24%. Then as far as cash advances go on this channel, we usually recommend to stay far away from cash advances. This, of course, should not be considered financial advice, just my own personal reasons. Usually with them, you have a very high interest rate, plus you typically have to pay a lot of fees as well. But if you do decide to do a cash advance with this card, just know your APR on that is going to be a whopping 29.99%, plus a lot of fees as well, which we are going to dive into right now. So as far as the fees go, starting out with the cash advance, your fee on each cash advance is going to be either $10 or 5% of the amount of each cash advance, whichever happens to be greater. Then as far as balance transfers go, even though right now it doesn't make a lot of sense to do a balance transfer with this card just because there's a pretty high interest rate on it, if later down the line you are offered like a 0% rate for, let's say, like 12 to 18 months, and you decide to take advantage of that to pay less interest on a month-to-month basis, this still is not going to be free because you still have to pay a fee on your balance transfer. That fee is going to be either $5 or 5% of the amount of your balance transfer, whichever happens to be greater. Then as far as foreign transaction fees go, thankfully with this card, there are no foreign transaction fees. This means that if you happen to travel outside the country, this is a card you can definitely take with you, and you won't be charged anything extra by Citi to use it. Now the restaurant or the store that you go to and you use it, they might charge you an extra fee, the processing fee on their end, but Citi itself, MasterCard, will not be charging you an extra fee for using it, which is a pretty good bonus considering that some other cards out there in the market, yes, unfortunately do charge you a foreign transaction fee of anywhere between, let's say, like 2 all the way up to 5%. However, there are some other fees that you will have to consider though, like a late or return payment. If you happen to pay late or you have a return payment, that fee is going to be up to $41. Now, if you happen to pay late for the first time, maybe even the second time, you could always try calling into Citi to see if they will waive that fee for a one-time convenience. I definitely would not push your luck past the first or even second time though, because they might waive it for the first time, although there are no guarantees. But they probably won't waive it for the second, third, or fourth time. So you might want to consider setting up auto pay, marking your calendars, do whatever works best for you. Make sure that you are paying on time. That way you don't even have to risk paying a late payment fee. Then finally, with this card, there's also going to be an annual fee as well starting the first year. So every single year for having this card, you will have an annual fee of $95. So now that we went over the main features of this card as well as the APR and fees, at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and go over what I would consider to be the best things about this credit card and the worst things about this credit card. So we're going to start out with the good things. So the first good thing, of course, is the fact that you can earn that spin bonus. Once again, that's 75,000 points as long as you're able to spend at least $4,000 within the first 3 months of having this card. That's going to be $750 in value, which more than offsets the $95 annual fee. And once again, the $4,000 spend in 3 months might be easy for some people, might be a little bit more difficult for others, but perhaps if you have some larger projects coming up that you absolutely need to spend, having this card might make that a little easier for you. Then with this card, you can earn a lot of points. So once again, you're going to be earning 10 points on hotels, car rentals, and attractions booked through citytravel.com, so you can rack up a lot of points there. Then you're going to be earning 3 points per dollar spent on flights, hotel purchases, restaurants, supermarkets, gas stations, and EV charging stations. And then with this card, there's also no foreign transaction fees, so if you happen to travel outside the country, this is a card you can definitely take with you, and you won't be charged anything extra by MasterCard for using it. So those are the good things about this credit card. Now we're going to go ahead and dive into the drawbacks. So the first drawback of this card is the fact that yes, there is an annual fee. So every year you will have to pay something for it. The annual fee with this card, once again, is $95. So every single year you're going to have to sit down and consider whether or not paying $95 for this card is worth it. Are you getting at least $95 back from this card for paying $95 for it? Is it worth it for you? That's something that you'll have to consider every single year. Also, the fact that you're not receiving like any type of introductory APR on purchases or balance transfers, at least starting out. Other cards out there in the market are currently offering like a 0% interest rate for the first 12 to 18 months on both purchases and balance transfers. This card does not. And then finally, that $100 annual hotel credit that they offer is only available if you spend at least $500. So you have to spend a good amount of money on hotels, $500 once again, in order to receive the $100 credit. So obviously that's a pretty big drawback as well. So just to sum things up here, all in all, for the first year alone, if you're able to hit that spin bonus and receive these 75,000 bonus points, this card would definitely be worth it for the first year. However, for the second year moving forward, you really have to sit down and consider whether or not you're going to be getting enough benefits to make renewing this card and continuing to pay $95 every single year for it worth it. So that's going to be completely up to you. But that's all we have for this review. I certainly hope you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. And I will see you in the next video.